That's why the facial mapping to me is so important, to take the time to understand that and to show patients that. That way you're showing them like where it's really coming from. And then you're discussing the treatment plan and the modalities and the beauty budget of, you know, what we could do to improve that.
Blessings, folks. Welcome back to another episode of the Hitstreak. I'm your man, Nick Hyder. And folks, it's shining extra bright in here because it's absolutely amazing what is sitting across from me today. I'm so excited to have her in the Hit Lab with me today, folks. Check it out. We're going to get right into it. You know her as the Nashville Beauty Girl. She's a registered nurse and aesthetic specialist with over 2 decades of experience. You've seen her working in her offices. You've seen her on movie and television sets. She's been everywhere working with everybody. Folks, give it up for Keri Lea. How we doing, girl?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I was a little nervous at first. This is my first podcast. I've done many podcasts. I love being a guest, and it's my first male host.
Well, what an honor.
Podcast. So
what an honor.
Yeah. It's kind of like being in the treatment room with my my male clients, because that's a whole nother consult than a female consult. So I'm like, okay, all right, we can do this.
Well, what an honor and a privilege it is to be here with you today. And I'm serious. So no pressure on old Nick over here.
No pressure on me either, because, you know, a male consult is, you know, I got to treat like a business deal, or that you're on the golf course too.
I agree. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. Well, I'm so excited because, you know, through my wife, I've been exposed to some knowledge about your industry, and it has definitely, it's changed a lot for me, if I'm being honest, over the last few years. Right. So I'm like, kind of like what I want to get right into is, you know, this is kind of seen as maybe a female type thing, a female dominated industry. However, you were telling me today that apparently dudes care. Yeah.
They do care. They care more than females care. They just present it differently. But I love that you said your wife introduced you to the aesthetic industry, which is probably how most of my patients that are male are introduced. I find that when they see their significant other just having more confidence, looking good, feeling good, they're like, wow, what's she doing? Okay. And so it kind of is like, hey, can you get me an appointment with your girl? Or sometimes they just, the male clients just show up, and then I have to ask the questions of like, okay, how'd they get here? Because then I have to go into that type of consult. But yeah, I would say definitely over the last probably 5 years, and definitely over the last 2 years, that there's an increase in the clients of mine that are male. I would say more like 35%. And honestly, the guy client is probably my favorite.
Okay. How come? Why would you say that?
You know, all it takes is one compliment. Like, have you been working out? That color looks so good on you. People don't know that your temples look better, but that something just looks more masculine, and that you're feeling it too. And one compliment from a guy, or from anyone to a guy, it makes them my most compliant client.
Fact.
So it might be hard on the front end to do the consult, to get you to trust me and to do the treatments, and that they don't hurt and things like that, or if they do. But once you get one compliment outside of my treatment room and I see you back and there's just a different confidence in your walk, it is like you will do whatever I say, and you are so compliant. So watching the confidence in the guys is great, especially when I start seeing or hearing about like their career jumps, or they're dating somebody new, or anything that's just more positive in their life. It's like, you know, when you're looking better, it's more of a feeling. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun.
You know, it's always like, I'm the age where I used to look at my parents and think that they were old, you know, and now I look back at pictures of them when they're my age and I'm like, look how young they were, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's, but like, you know, I have my daughter turns 4 here as we're sitting here today, and literally like next week. So like when she was born, I had just turned 40. I was like, she ain't gonna have I'm not gonna be called granddad in kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so like it was a thing. It was a thing. I was like, we're gonna turn back the clock here just a little bit.
Yeah. And 40 doesn't look like 40 like it did back then either.
Agreed.
Right? Yeah, I see that a lot in patients. That's the first question I usually ask them is, how young are you? Number one, I'm trying to figure out their astrology signs so I can have more of a conversation and kind of figure out, like, be a chameleon to get on the level. But also because, you know, with patients, if 40 looks different. So after the age of 40, bone structure is changing, muscles are moving, things are happening below the skin. So it's educating the patient on that is, makes a big difference. And it also helps, I think, in avoiding like bad cosmetic outcomes by knowing their real age.
So, when we're talking about the stuff we're talking about today, it's kind of like, if you've never flown on a plane before, you're going to hear about the 4 plane crashes that happened, but they don't tell you about the 10 million that flew yesterday, and it's such a small fraction of a percentage. So like, there's not a lot of people going online saying, look at how great my surgery turned out today. They don't want people necessarily to know, but boy, if you get a bad one,
oh yeah,
everybody's going to know. Yeah. So like, I think that was probably those 2 things that when I started dabbling into this a little bit, it was 2 things, which was one, like, how do you choose the right person like to do this which was so obviously my wife chose it for me at the time, which was wonderful because it took a lot of pressure off. But the other thing is, like, I didn't know once I started, it was like, oh, this is something you keep up with. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Just like anything else that's great, like brushing your teeth or working out or anything else, it's better the longer that you do it and the more consistently you can keep up with it, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely prevention. Absolutely prevention. I think that it was great that your wife was able to refer you someone, because I think referral is probably the biggest key. If your friends are seeing somebody and you like the way they look and you see their confidence and that, you're like, okay, I want to know who they're going to, right? But I also think that if you're not, you don't have a referral and you're kind of like, okay, I want to go and just see what my options are, whether it's I'm looking tired or I have a double chin, like something's going on, then
is she talking about me right now?
see how guys are, you're already thinking like insecure. See?
Hell yeah, I'm insecure as hell about that stuff.
No, see, I don't even have to like even prove a point now.
No, I want to look.
I love you, Keri. You know what? You know what the hot factor is? Single or not, but when a guy cares, it's actually like it's not a red flag.
I agree.
It's not. Yeah. So to get a good quality girl, like, we look at things like that.
Let's go. Let's go. So, all right, well, let's talk about, I want to stay right there on picking the right person, right? So obviously we're looking for experience. I didn't know that we've all learned a lot about nutrition and like ingredients in food, and that plays a role into everything and into like what we're putting into our skin and all that stuff, right? So if you're looking for somebody to have a consult or get started with this, they should just reach directly out to you, right? But what are some of the ways that like you would advise people to shop? Maybe they're not, maybe they're listening from across the world right here and they can't get to you.
I think that your face card's your number one, like, be your brand. And so if you walk in and and you look great and you don't look crazy from doing all the things that are out there, and if you're looking at bad reviews and things like that, or bad perceptions, because like we said earlier, when there's bad Botox or bad treatments being done, like, you're like, okay, everyone is going to look like that. You don't think of like all the people that do it that look great, right? And I think it's experience, and I think experience comes from doing what you're doing and loving it for as long as you do that. But I think it really comes from doing the treatments yourself. And so every modality, every treatment I offer, I've done. Not only do I want the beauty benefit, of course I do. I'm in the freaking beauty industry,
right.
But I want to make sure that these treatments are effective and that I want to feel what it feels like. I want to know what my downtime is. I do a lot of combination therapy, so I know like what really, really works. And if there are any side effects or complications or things like that, like, I know exactly how to treat them. And things like swelling and like especially, I treat a lot of patients that are like on TV or podcasting, like you're doing, whatever. So it's important to ask those questions and know, hey, you're going to have a couple of days of downtime. So when are you on the air next?
Yeah.
Like, let's do the things that we know we can do that you might have a day or two, like no one really know, but also there's some things that we need to do that will target your main concern. But we need to have like a couple of days to know about that. So I think all in that kind of gives more of a better consult and trust in that I'm looking out for that patient. So that comes with experience to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And
I would look for that in somebody else. Like, if I put myself in the treatment chair, I kind of think of, what do I want the person that's making me look and feel better? What do I want them to say? Like, what do I want them to look like? Like, what kind of questions do I want them to ask? So I try to put myself in that position to give all the knowledge to the patient.
Absolutely. That's huge. Like, because like, there was, I was talking to a buddy of mine who had gotten some veneers. I'm like, what, how did you pick the color? Like all the things. He was like, dude, you know what I told the guy that I trusted? He was like, hey, I was like, do to me what you would do to yourself.
Exactly. It's perfect. I love that. Yes. Totally agree.
And it's such a simple answer. It took all the concern out of everything.
It's your face card.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
So, all right. So if we were to pick apart old Nick today, and you know a little bit about,
I've already done it.
What I've done. So so we were talking about the Grand Canyon I used to have in the forehead, right? Which has been gone for a while. But like, there's every treatment that I've gotten over the years has been a little bit different. And I remember the first time, like, the person that had done the majority of my stuff for a while, I had to try somebody different. And I remember I had like a little bubble underneath this eye just a little bit that drove me absolutely crazy that I'd never had before. And it was like literally like where the injections were placed. I guess it was the placement's everything. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love that you actually knew that something wasn't not right, but something wasn't like, it was questionable. Like, is that from the treatment? Is it from the injection? Sometimes people go around, they don't realize that it might be something that was either misplaced or something that they didn't need there, or maybe it's just part of your downtime.
Yeah.
But I love that you actually saw that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, everything's in the details, right? And this is a detail business for sure.
Yeah.
We're talking about the smallest things.
Right. A lot of guys don't see the details though. Like they won't speak up about it. So that's awesome. That's great. How was the delivery? Like, how did they treat that for you?
It took, it was like, well, we got to let the last treatment kind of play out a little bit before we can do anything else. So I was just kind of stuck with it for a while, and it bothered me. I wore my reading glasses a lot during that time because it kind of covered it up. Some people, I think it was only seen when I smiled a certain way, right? But it drove me crazy.
Was it filler? Like, what was it?
No, it was. I've never had anything but Botox, and then I don't even remember what the laser treatment was that I had. Where
surfacing.
My eyelids are a little bit droopy, and it helped with that a little bit.
Yeah.
But the surgery that Dell had is something that
we love microsurgeries.
Yeah.
Microsurgeries that complement non-surgical treatments are the way to go. There's small little details in the face that make for the whole picture where no one really knows you had something done, but they're like, you look like you've been working out, or I like that shirt on you, or, anything like that. It's a compliment that's outside of what you had done.
The best haircuts are the ones where you didn't know that you had a haircut, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I agree.
I do that. Like, even with my boyfriend, when he has a great haircut, I'm like, he can be an asshole sometimes. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. He looks good. Shit, it's that haircut. But yeah, it's effortless, right?
That's right. That's right. The haircut he's off camera over here. So we're having a good time picking on old Neil today. So, all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about maybe I could have got started a little bit sooner. Like literally, like it was pictures where like when I would be looking at the camera, I'm like, man, my forehead is smiling at people and sometimes frowning too at the same time. And I asked my wife about it. I'm like, when did this thing happen right here? And she was like, that's pretty easy fix. And so I think it was around 40, give or take, when I started looking at it.
Very common for men and females. Did you notice it more when you were doing TV work as opposed to when you were in your past life?
Yeah, like I didn't really see it until all of a sudden on camera and then some photos. But I mean, it just literally like came out of nowhere. Like it wasn't there. And then it was.
Yeah.
And, they say that
so fair. You're so fair. You're naturally redhead. So, you're basically allergic to the sun.
Yes.
You'll sunburn like crazy.
Yeah.
So a lot of times all the things that we did, because you were a baseball player, right? Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So all of that sun damage and all that you did when you were younger starts to play the role, 20 years after the age of really 28, but 20 years later. So like around 35, 40. And with men, your skin is thicker. So therefore things just seem deeper. Then and so which is a positive and a negative sometimes. But yeah, so I would say around the age of 35, we start to lose collagen. And even before that, but we're really kind of starting to see it. Brown spots come to the surface, things that were, like I said, done when you were younger and in the sun. And then also your bone structure's changing. We're losing fat, and especially with all the like GLP-1s and Ozempics and losing weight, and you're already starting to lose fat when you enter your 40s. You add that on top of it, and there's some certain areas on the face that will make other features look like they're more of the main concern. So like for example, for guys, usually it starts like around the eye area. It's going to go more horizontal like that. And so you got to look at the temple. You might see this, you might see the symptom, which is going to be down the middle of the face, like under eyes, maybe like your folds. But it's really coming from the disease, which is back, like around the temple and the back part of the face.
Okay.
So that's my job. And that's why I do a lot of facial mapping.
Okay.
So I can do it like I've already facial mapped you, like no one's safe. It's just the way my brain works.
I love it.
And so, but I also draw on patients and show them in the mirror, with their normal authenticity and like in bone structure, and like, okay, you're seeing this, but when I do this, do you see how that improves?
Yeah.
So this is the modality that I would go with for this area to improve this. So that way, yeah. So, but it's very common that over the age of 35 to 40, that's probably like my most percentage of age for my clientele too. And that's my age group too. You kind of like attract like what kind of like around the age group I think you are.
I want to thank all of our loyal fans that spread across all 50 states and 14 different countries. It's absolutely amazing. Folks, help us keep spreading the word, right? Share your favorite episodes with friends and make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the Hitstreak on all digital platforms. Thanks again, and we look forward to more. Again, it's if you treat it as more of a preventative thing than a problem-solving thing, I think you can kind of get ahead of it and stay ahead of it a little bit, maybe.
Absolutely. I mean, treat it the same way as you would your nutrition, right?
That's good.
Yeah.
And then, like, do you see more? We're talking about guys here, I guess. Do you see more guys coming in to fix flaws or just maintain? Like, for me, I just wanted to look like I did 15 years ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was happy with that.
Forget about 5 years ago. We're going 15.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, because I always had the fat face and the dimples and I always had the crow's feet a little bit, and they were kind of natural. I was cool with that.
Yeah.
But the sagginess underneath the eyes, and obviously the couple wrinkles in the forehead and whatnot were.
Well, it's a great place to start. And here's the unfair benefit of a guy is that y'all get to grow facial hair. I mean, females can, but we don't do that, right?
That's our makeup.
And it gives these damn illusions. So when you can create your jawline and enhance it by just the way that you are shaving your beard and your jawline, it's hot, right? Yeah. So you can cover even when men like they grow their chin, like their beard out. They project their beard from their chin, so it makes their chin look more projected. Yeah,
longer.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So y'all have the benefit of having facial hair to actually improve areas that normally we would non-surgically enhance.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's like unfair to me.
It's amazing how like it's like messing up your beard is as bad as getting a good haircut. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard because you got to it's got to be symmetrical on two sides. Both sides of the face are totally different.
Oh, I love this. Yes.
So it's like, I even have a little cheater that I lay up on there and do it. And then I messed it up the other night, which is why it's so short today. So I messed it up. I was like, oh, well, and it was gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, like non-surgical treatments too, like your beard will grow back.
That's right.
With non-surgical treatments, yes, they are definitely accumulative in their prevention. I find that with my guys, like once I get them like in the club, that my guys can go like twice a year.
Okay.
Like it's a different protocol than my females too. I mean, there's more to like females and areas and body parts that bother us as opposed to guys. And so I find that with my guys, once I get them good in the club and educated, then we definitely introduce new treatments, or they at least trust me enough to be like, hey, what's this? I'm kind of like, maybe I want to lose like 5 pounds, or maybe I want to get some inflammation off of me, or things like that. Then I can help them in that department. But yeah, it's like twice a year, and you can pretty much maintain. It's kind of high maintenance to be low maintenance, honestly.
It was the perfect storm for me. It was losing like 55 to 60 pounds, all around the age of between 35 and 40. So I lost all that face weight and all the collagen loss and everything else.
Yep.
And it was like, what happened, man? Yeah. What happened?
The cool thing is that you said you've always had a round face shape, right? And so round face shapes, normally they age pretty well because that you went from being like a boy to a man, cute and round face, and then now it's like, okay, well, I got a little bit more of a chisel going on. Yeah. So your face shape kind of helped you too there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know now that you can even like change people's profiles and stuff like it's crazy.
Yeah. And then the first question I like to ask too when I'm doing a consult with whether it's a female or male is, do you know your good side? Because your good side is also means that's your more hyperactive eyebrow. Like it's your stronger bone structure. Your orbital rim is bigger. Like we're born that way.
Yeah.
But you always have like that one eye that seems to be like a little bit more like heavier, things like that. And so that matters even on the Botox, like when I'm injecting and things like that to know your muscles.
Wow.
Because it happens so much more beneath the skin. And like even with social media, I feel like it seems like it's so easy. Like you see all this like, you know, injections and like before and afters. And it's like, 15 minutes later, here it is. But really there's a lot that goes on like beneath the skin to make for like really good natural results.
Man, it's I'm so fascinated with it because, you know,
it's fun, right?
It really is, but it's like there's so much risk in translation because, like, you know, I can remember literally a buddy of mine, we were talking the other night at an event. His kid had grown out long hair for the first time, and he told the girl cutting his hair, he's like just cut off an inch. Dude, she cut off like 6 inches. And like, you know, so like that was a translation problem. Like, you know, so like it's when you take your car to the mechanic, you're like, it's making this sound. Well, dude, like, I don't know, like, does the mechanic know what sound you made actually, like, in regards to, like, there's just a lot of things that sound could be.
I see that.
Versus not. And like, we're going in. So like, I'm big on pictures. I'm like, I want to be able to say, you see what I see. Like the pictures are big for me.
Well, men are visual in itself. So yeah. So I honestly, I bring a lot of my before and after pictures out for my guys.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I met my boyfriend. He was a patient of mine.
Okay.
But I use his pictures a lot for my male clients to be like, this is the small things that we did. And this is what I'm recommending for you. You see the difference. And they're like, sign me up.
The most common things I hear about him is that wait a minute, you're how old? Because he looks literally like 10, 15 years.
And he has a good hairline too.
Yeah, he has a good hairline.
Yeah.
So that's right. He's like, yeah, keep going with this. I love it, man. Well, like, so all right, so let's figure out where we're gonna want to go next, because like we talked a little bit about how you kind of shop it, how you pick, how you need to pick your person, right? So like you talked about modalities a little bit. I've been hearing that word a lot lately. So let's make sure everybody knows what we're talking about there.
Yeah. So modalities are non-surgical treatment tools that I use. That it's almost like your toolbox. Like you got your level, you got your screwdriver, you have your wrench, like all of this shit y'all have in your toolbox, right?
I don't have a toolbox anymore. Remember, I get Botox.
We hire somebody for that. Okay, we love that too. It gets done. So
you can get Botox and have a toolbox, and it's okay.
Yes, yes. Especially with a good jawline.
That's right.
Yes.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. Yeah. So modalities are non-surgical treatment devices that are used to treat main concerns. Okay. They could be lasers, neuromodulators like Botox, fillers, sculpture threads, Morpheus, like fat dissolving. So I call them, like when I'm doing a consult, I talk about, you'll hear me repeat these 7 different modalities that I love, that are tried and true, that I see with my patients. And it depends on when I introduce them. So I just kind of bring the verbiage up because they might hear of it again. So if you think of like building a face house, like a house, I like to start from the foundation up. So if a patient has like jowling or underneath their chin is like double chin, then those are some modalities that I consider like the foundation of the house, that once we improve those, then things above it, like maybe their cheeks and things that will improve. Okay. Or maybe their main concern could be like, I have all these freckles and brown spots are coming up from, normally for guys, it's like the golfers. Okay. Yeah. Like that, like the one side, like more on the driving side, they might see more. And so, but yeah, that's how I use modalities. So they're just tools in my tool chest.
Gotcha. Yes. Okay. So obviously, like, the non-surgical is usually the preferred method, if I'm hearing that right. Is that right?
It's my specialty. Okay. So I've worked in plastic surgery. I've been a plastic surgery nurse for 20 years. And so, I've had stuff. I'm a walking freaking menu. But when you combine non-surgical and surgical, like with the micro, like the upper blephs, the micro treatment, like plastic surgery treatments, I think that's for like the best overall, like global approach, especially when it's out of the, what am I trying to say? Only my modalities will only maybe get 60%. and say just because someone's hereditarily, their eyes have just more skin, their mom and dad they had hooded eyes too. You have a low forehead. Then I think it's important to be honest and say, I have some great modalities, but it might only get like 50 to 60% of your main concern when you kind of could be a surgical candidate. And so these are my referrals of who I would send you to, just to have knowledge. Doesn't mean you're going to have it done that day. Right. You're just going to get more knowledge. But I think that when you mix the non-surgical treatments, it's increasing your collagen, it's making your skin texture look better, you're improving your whole quality of skin. So it's going to make for your surgical treatments to last longer, because surgery really only lasts around 7 years. You just keep aging, right?
Right.
But when you combine the modalities or the non-surgical methods that are actually improving what's going on underneath the skin, then I think that is where the more longevity comes from surgical treatments too.
Gotcha.
So it's a happy little marriage. You just got to figure out like what the patient is more like they want it like done, and they want it. You might see patients, they walk around, they're like, I want to be like this. Yeah. I'm like, okay, we are going to be already past the laser. We're going to go on to thread. That might not even be enough, but we need to probably bring in the surgeon too.
So like, who's somebody in, let's pick a male and a female in Hollywood that in your opinion, like they've had the best work done. Like, like Brad Pitt's, like he looks awesome. He's never looked the same forever. It's like, I can't tell if he's had it or not. It's like, you could probably be like, oh yeah, I can see it. He definitely has. Like when we're seeing those people in the movies that we know and love so much.
Angelina Jolie, the J-Lo, Jennifer Aniston, like Reese Witherspoon. I'm trying to think of even like one more Southern ones. I think, oh my God, Gwen Stefani. Yeah. Hello. I mean, she's in her 50s, and that girl looks better than she did when she was younger.
I agree.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So those are using modalities that are not a lot of like fillers in my case, like collagen stimulator, like Sculptra, threads, things that are regenerative, that are improving from the quality of skin, which would be like pores, texture, looking at the face shape, not just putting a bunch of fillers and foreign things in your face that are actually working against your anatomy that's aging, right? Gotcha. So I think of her. Gwen Stefani's like, I love her. Right?
So she would have been a great example of somebody who kind of got in early and it didn't get real bad, and then having to make a big change, right? So like a lot to fix. She thinks she kind of just got in early and just kind of just. Is that the best way to do it?
Yeah. If you look at her back in the day, like she's always been beautiful, right? Yeah. But she just started doing small things with the right people. And now like when you're in your 50s and you look like you're 35, but in the best way, like her skin's porcelain. Like it's more than just, are her lips big and things like that. It's like the whole quality of the skin and the hair and the whole, like even just the whole body global approach, like taking care of your hormones. And, I love, I've been really interested and started to use like injectable vitamins and peptides. Those are things that are actually reversing the cells that are causing you to age.
Okay.
So not only are they benefiting you aesthetically, they're making your mind sharper. They're making you have more energy, like to work out. Like they're making you tanner, or more tan. They're making you just feel better. Yeah. So when you feel better, you're gonna already kind of look better. Yeah. So I think it's like that's like the forward thinking that I think of when I think of non-surgical treatments.
So fellas, listen up, all right? Because I was one of those guys. I was one of those guys that was like, I don't need that. I don't want that. That's not for me. And then I looked in the mirror one day. I was like, yo, Houston, we got a problem. And it was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Mm-hmm. And then literally like, 10 days later, I'm like, damn, my forehead's smooth again. Look at that thing. It's awesome,
Yes. That's exactly what I love. The confidence in my masculine clients who are like, oh, wow, that's like so much better. Yes.
And like, I remember the first time, like, I moved my eyebrows a lot. They didn't move like I like. So the next time I was there, I was like, hey, I want more movement in my eyebrows. And then I had it. So it's literally like, the feedback that in the relationship you have with your person is so important.
And then that also is still experiencing that treatment. So it makes you trust that provider to talk about, well, now that that's better, I'm kind of seeing the other main concern I have that I didn't want to bring up, which is like my eye area. Yeah. So that's another trust factor that when you're looking for a provider that that you're experiencing even just part of the treatment. And then that kind of gets you into like, okay, I trust her, I trust him. And then now I'm going to talk to him about, laser hair removal or, brown spots or heavy eyelids or all the above.
All the above. Well, it's so and one thing that I want to do, I love taking the camera with us when we go places. I'd love to I'd love to sit down and see what the map looks like on my face and see like all the bumps in the road and road closures and everything else.
You know what you would really love, and I'm bringing this on at my new location, is it's a skin analysis machine. It's very Korean.
Okay.
And so it's called a Vizia. There's different versions, but Vizia is the one I used to work with. And you put your head in this little tabletop machine, and it's going to show you everything like pore size, red spots, brown spots, stuff that hasn't even come to the surface yet.
Oh, wow.
So it honestly kind of accentuates your aging of what could be happening if you're not using your sunscreen, or if we're introducing like a new skincare, product for you, or a laser treatment, and you can literally watch the improvements when you come back monthly and see the difference of what's happening underneath the skin. Because all that stuff is what's making you age on the outside to see, right?
Yeah.
So that's what, you would love that.
Gotcha.
Yes, you're definitely going to come in and do that.
The Hitstreak is powered by our partners at HitLab Creative Studios. Whether it's launching your brand new podcast, rebranding your current podcast, or taking advantage of any of their other content packages specifically for your social media needs, the HitLab is a one-stop shop for you. Visit hitlabstudio.com for more. So when I was a little bit younger, the girls that were getting the stuff done like in their 20s, it was kind of frowned upon because it's like, man, like they haven't, what are you doing? Nothing's changed really a whole lot yet. And like, I see, you see online, you'll see some girls like, I'm not a big fan of the gigantic lip thing. Like, it's like, if it looks like you're stuck out there, like I struggle with that.
I do too.
Especially when on a 24, 25-year-old young lady.
Right.
Does that ever go away? Are you stuck with that once you blow them up that big, or like?
No, that's actually my favorite part of my job is dissolving fillers. And so there is a enzyme, thank God. So when you're using fillers, most popular ones that people would hear of is like Juvederm, Restylane, hyaluronic acid fillers. There's an enzyme called Hylenex that is injected, and it burns like hell. Yeah. If I make it very comfortable. And it dissolves the filler. So there is an antidote to hyaluronic acid filler, thank God. But there's also tissue stuff that happens. So if someone is injecting someone dysmorphically, I feel like that is a little unethical, honestly. And then the big thing is looking at the whole picture around. So somebody might come in that wants to get a lip enhancement, and they're young. But according to their face shape, they might have like a really recessed chin. Yeah. Or they might have like deep folds. And it's just like, you have to talk about, okay, when I increase your chin, not only will enhance your whole profile and make you look like thinner, more model-esque, but it's also going to make your lips look better. So it's like framing the whole area, making sure like that whole area is good before you go to their main concern. Yeah. And then, but yeah, so, and we age over time and fillers move, and sometimes, what do I say? Botox is amazing for bad days, birthdays, and breakups. That's right. And so it's like, sometimes you just keep getting too much and you lose your authenticity in your face. Yeah. And then you kind of forget who you were. And so it's my favorite appointments are the ones where we're like restoring them back to their authenticity. And it's like a great emotional connection, but it's like, God, it's like you kind of forget like how good you did look, before it was overdone. A little enhancement, yes, when it's measured right, 100%. But yeah, it's not a good look, and you kind of know when it's just too much. And that's what ruins the industry, honestly, I think. Absolutely. I agree with that for sure. So we've been, some of the stuff that we're talking about right now would be the anti-aging and regenerative treatments, right? So what are, let's cover the ones that we've talked about so far. So we've talked about Botox. What else we talked about? We've talked about like filler. You hear a lot about filler. I see most of the horror stories are not around Botox anymore. They're around filler. So talk to me about like, when is filler best? What's the best application for filler? Let's just stay with guys for a minute, I guess. So where do I love it the most? Yeah. So when by facial mapping, there are certain areas of the face that I think respond better to whether it's hyaluronic acid filler, which filler is going to work pretty much kind of right away. I mean, you're going to see results when you get injected. You'll have a few days of inflammation and downtime. Usually with guys, not as much because your skin's thicker. So you normally don't bruise as much. And then of course your swelling's like easy. And then there's collagen stimulators that will work with your own collagen to give you that look, but it's going to be more cumulative over time. So Sculptra is my number one. So if we're looking at temples, like temples is probably like that's the first place I look. Temples are the most impactful area on the face for a male and a female.
Okay.
It's the most important part of the cheek, and it also is a vector to improve your jawline. Because if you're lifting your temple, your jawline is going to improve. So if someone's coming to look for their jawline improvement, if their temples are sunken in like a peanut head, I got to fix that. Not only is it going to make their eyes look better, their cheeks look better, but it's going to be a vector and a lifter to the jawline. It's super important for a man because you got to keep that square. So I love using fillers there. There's a filler called Voluma. That's my number one.
Okay.
And so where I'm thinking about using like more of a collagen stimulator and Sculptra would be in areas I wouldn't use filler. So areas like, like underneath the cheekbones, things like that. But if a patient really has a recessed chin, I'm going to either be looking at their muscles to relax them. And this is where it comes from. I use a lot of Botox lower face or a neuromodulator lower face to release muscles and to make other muscles work harder to give a more natural lift as opposed to always putting filler somewhere.
Absolutely.
So fillers, we love filler when it's needed, but it's not always my number one at all.
Okay.
Go to. Yeah.
Gotcha. So what would be, so tell me more about like, if I came in thinking that I wanted filler or something like that. So obviously it's kind of like what I'm hearing is like, so a lot of times when I have like a neck problem, I'll go get it worked on. They're like, the problem's actually in your back.
Yes.
And like, but it stemmed up and now your neck's actually been covering for your back and it just finally gave out.
The symptom of the disease. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's very common here as well is what I'm hearing, right?
100%. Yes. Okay. And that's why the facial mapping to me is so important, to take the time to understand that and to show patients that. That way you're showing them like where it's really coming from. And then you're discussing the treatment plan and the modalities and the beauty budget of, what we could do to improve that.
Well, let's, so you mentioned a good word right there, which is budget, right? So let's talk about that for a minute because like, the one time that I wouldn't want to count pennies would be when we're rebranding my face.
Yeah, you would think.
I gotta have like, I like the best of everything, but especially when it comes to my surgeon, my dentist, or anybody that's doing anything that has to do with my appearance.
I like the way you think. Yep.
Oh yeah, like even my son, he gets the good haircut. We're not going to like the closest place for $10.
Right. Well, it lasts longer. It looks better.
Absolutely.
Right. And it's high, it makes life easier. It's high maintenance, be low maintenance. So it's worth the extra money from the experienced provider.
So for a budget, let's say, so Nick's 35, he's on his way up. I'm like, and I meet you and it's like, hey, now is actually, don't wait till it's a problem to deal with this. Let's get ahead of things. This is what, based on, we'll map your face when it's over. Like, so what would it be like for somebody that maybe wanted to get started? Just so they had a ballpark, nothing that they would hold you to, but just like a ballpark on an average guy, right? So let's say, what would be like the regimen and the budget on a calendar year for something like that?
This is a typical guy question. I love this.
Yes.
And so I would say if they would,
I hope it's a big number because it needs to be.
Well, okay. Well, I'll give you like my worst case scenario. And so I would say to get started, 5,000. And then maintain would probably be a lot less than that, honestly. Because remember, we'd like to get the treatment in. We like to get the result. Then you're feeling it, you're seeing the result, and then you just maintain. And so I think that getting sometimes the treatment in, like for example, if we're going to talk about a recessed chin, and a chin is very important in a man's structure, of course. So having to use those modalities to get that result is maybe $5,000 to $6,000. Okay. I'm just like, and surgery is
always going to be more expensive, right?
Usually. Yes. And so, but the treatments lasting for years.
Yeah.
I mean, years. Fillers can last for years. And then when you combine it with different modalities, so say if I'm treating something like underneath like the chin, because that's going to affect the projection of the chin too. And it's also going to tighten and the laxity under the chin, like that whole global like approach and framing of the mouth area, your results, I honestly, they're almost, it's a big word, but pretty permanent in that once you get your full correction, your maintenance is like super easy.
Right.
And your maintenance might even be like, a third of that price just to maintain it every year. And then you'll have a great skincare product, like a 3-in-1 type thing. With my guys and their skincare products, I actually inject your skincare. I do skin boosters.
Okay.
Skin Vive is very, very forward. And it is my number one. I'm actually a speaker for the company that develops Skin Vive. It's a skin booster. And it's literally like injecting 8 hours of sleep and 8 liters of water into your face.
Wow.
And it lasts for 6 months to a year. So I kind of incorporate that, especially with my guys. It changed my boyfriend's skin. I'll tell you that. It was fun to watch, like the whole process. But you're not going to do all the skincare I tell you to do. Like I make it really easy for my guys. But it's if I can inject your skincare, right?
I can
and you're
tell
going to get
you,
the benefits from it.
Yeah, one of the like I've never liked like the lotion, so because I was forced to wear sunscreen for so long.
Yes,
I was always sticky. My shirt always was sticking to my back. So like I was anti all lotion for the longest time, right? And now we were joking backstage because like literally like it's I spray tan once a week and all the things to do to get ready for all the things that we do production wise. So like I spend 1 day a week, 4 days a month sticky. And so the fact that you can inject skincare, because I can promise you out of all the stuff, and I usually follow through, Keri, but like the one thing that that I'll casually forget about is going to be to put the skincare at night.
Of course.
Absolutely. So if it can be injected, you just like, you might just save the brother's life over here.
Hey, I'm here to save the brothers. Yes,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yep.
Because we're a little bit lazy when it comes to those things. And it's a dread every time my wife ran and she'll be like, we're about to sit down and watch a show or something. She's like, I'm gonna go wash my face. I'm like, oh, I'll see you in a half hour. And, but I'm not going to go do that. If I put a little lotion on at night, I did good.
But if she was to put a special mask on you, like,
I'd let her do it. I'm just not going to do it.
Like a man mask, and you can sit there and watch TV, would you do that?
If she'd help me put it on, absolutely. Okay. That's quality time together.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
Especially, but again, I will say, and the one word that you saw for so many people is just confidence. Yes. Just confidence. And some people will say it's superficial, folks. Oh. It's fact, man. Come on, dude. Like, take some pride in it. Like, it's never going to hurt you to be better looking, but it could hurt you to not be better looking.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're going to tell me that more opportunities aren't given to better looking people?
Hey, when you feel good, you look good. When you look good, you do good. When you do good, you work.
I love that's a Deion Sanders reference right there. How cool is that? So
I got to bring in a little baseball in this.
Little Coach Prime. What is it? So if you what does it say? If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. And if you play good, they pay good.
Oh shit! I love that.
See, yes. that's on the wall in his office.
Oh, I love that. Okay, absolutely. That's awesome.
Coach Prime, you need to call old Keri. Y'all need to hang out for a little bit. Yeah. You need to hang out for a little bit. So, all right. So there's injectable skin treatment, which is phenomenal. Which is phenomenal. So, and I used to be scared of the needles.
That was my next thing. Yeah, guys don't love needles. Yes,
these aren't needles.
They're tiny.
Yeah, I would like the needles that I think of as like the one you get a shot in your butt or something like that. It's not it's not like this.
A lot of men are injecting testosterone or things like that. So it's so much smaller than that. But I mean, y'all can be a little dramatic.
Yeah, we can. Let's go.
Sweat, like I'm gonna pass out. I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
That's
I always like, I don't know,
you're comfortable
man.
with me if you can do that. Most guys, like when their first consults, they'll kind of hold it in. They're like, I'm tough, I'm good. But then after they get used to it, they're like, sweating and stuff. It's okay, now I know they're comfortable with me.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. And at the end of the day,
it hurts
it's
to be pretty, hurts to be handsome.
It's a sign of insecurity to not be comfortable in that chair, I think.
I love you said that. Okay.
Like you got to be comfortable with yourself to sit there and just like and seriously, absolutely. And honestly, if I care that much about what other people think, actually, that's a allodoxophobia. I believe fear of other people's opinions.
Yes. Yeah. That'll really hurt you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you do these things because maybe we all have a little bit of something of it, but like at the end of the day, the person that's making me look good, that you have to see me at my worst.
100%.
You have to see me at my worst. And so again, I believe in this stuff 100%. I can't say that I always could say that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know when the first time I got that treatment was, but I'm 44 as I sit here today. Mm-hmm. It's been at least it's right at around 40 was when it started.
Right.
I noticed the difference.
Is that when you had the growth in your career as far as the going from was it insurance into podcasting?
It was, big time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's as a matter of fact, one of my favorite things is when people see a picture of me 3 or 4 years ago and they're like, that don't even look like you.
Right.
I love that.
Yes.
That's the best compliment ever.
It's a delivery and wow, you look great. Not does that even look like them?
That's correct.
What I mean? Because there's but I love you said that because I kind of have found that when we look back at before pictures and when when you're seeing patients that you see like this whole like shift and level up in their career or career change. And it's like, wow, like that was like, it's just the whole package, right?
It was, I struggled after baseball. There was about 10 years that was a really dark time just because for my whole life I was a baseball player and then I wasn't. And it was like, now what? And, when you see the change, people are forever evolving, right? But like what I realized one day is I'm like, why doesn't anybody treat me different than when I was a baseball player? And I looked in the mirror and I was like, well, I dress the same. I'm wearing the same clothes. I look the same. I'm actually so I was like, how can I expect other people to look at me different if I can't even give them a fighting chance to do so?
Right. It's like changing your personality to change your identity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I am growing. I'm improving. And I want to, it's like having the best engine on the planet Earth in your car and then having the shittiest body on the car that's never been, the paint's chipped. You're never going to enjoy the engine if the car looks like trash.
Yep. Very true.
So,
very true. And other people see that. So you think of like if I have a patient or I see anybody and they have a frown and it's just because their muscles do that. It's not like they caused it and they're probably not sad, but I will perceive them as being pissed off at me or just not fun, right? So they're think if they're dating or if they're going in for an interview, that they always have this energy towards them, like they are going to be like, why are they not inviting me? Like, why did I get this job? Like why are they like not, what? And it's because of the way they're frowning.
Absolutely.
And so you just don't always realize what other people see on the other side. And it's right. So true.
The Hitstreak is powered by Team Hyder. Team Hyder has been serving you for 11 years and has racked up over 20 national and local awards for excellence in all areas. When it comes to finding the right health plan, we need to consider your family's needs and your family's budget. That's what we do to serve you. To look further and to book an appointment, visit teamhyder.com.
I didn't realize that I had resting bitch face, but I did. I had a lot. And check this out. So this is when I was first entertaining this stuff. This is how it was explained to me. It was one of the greatest things I've ever heard. And it was, I don't know, I'm pretty good. All right, Nick, true or false? Your car runs better after you wash it. And I was like, it totally does somehow. Yes. Magically, it totally does. They were like, that's what I'm talking about. And I was like, okay.
I love that. I'm using that.
Absolutely. Your car runs better after it's clean.
So
I don't know why.
It's so true. Oh God, I love that anlogy.
It worked on me. It worked on me.
Very true.
All right, Keri. So check this out. I mean, there's so many ways we could go. But like you were even talking to me because again, the spray tan, one of my, I loathe it. It's a minimum 52 a year, 52 spray tans a year that I get. And you're like, dude, there's a better way.
Do you ever video this?
The spray tan?
Yeah. Like your whole process?
We've talked about it.
That would be really cool. Let me help you with that.
Okay.
I would love that. Because I feel like everybody has their own spray tan, like things they do.
Mine's usually on Sundays or Mondays because we're usually production heavy Tuesday through Thursday. So I usually, when I'm in church on Sunday, that's when the gray's popping out of the beard and all those things. But all right, so here's my routine. Can I tell you my routine?
Yes, I love it. Yes, please.
All right. So we work out every day, but on Sunday or Monday, it usually starts with that's when I color the beard. All right, so I'm putting all the color back into it so you can see it.
And where do you buy this?
It's I use Simpler. I used to use Just for Men. Hated it. I'd wipe my skin raw trying to get it off. Simpler's been a really good product. It's something that I literally saw on Instagram one day. I tried it. It doesn't stain the skin. 15 minutes in and out. Love
this. I think you could help a lot of other men knowing what brand that you use.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay.
I'll totally endorse a deal with them if they want. But Simpler's been really, really good. And that's when I do that. And then I get a keratin treatment, and I have naturally like kind of curly, wavy hair, right?
Yeah.
So I get a treatment done every other haircut, so every 6 weeks.
Love that.
And then I have an at-home relaxer that I put in it in between. Which there's a picture of me on Instagram as we sit today with my wife where she was running the straightener through it after I'd put my at-home treatment in it.
Oh my gosh, I'd love to see like what it looked like before.
I had the McDonald arches right here in the front. So like,
your hair.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's very like, it doesn't look like this naturally at all, right? So,
but it's high maintenance, be low maintenance.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely, and then that leads to the shower, where then it's immediately off to the spray tan, to Suntan City, for the spray tan, where it's 15 to 20 minutes there,
right?
15 to 20 minutes there.
Do you choose a certain, because you can do Versa, like you can choose the colors, like, or you choose the formula?
Yeah. So what the color that's always been, because when we first started, I started out with the lightest color, and then I'm like, well, you couldn't even tell, right? So what I ended up getting is the darkest they'll do, which is the double dark clear with hydration. So I leave all shiny and oily. And do
you close your mouth and don't breathe, and then close your eyes too? Like what's it? Because it's like a lot in your face.
It is. And I used to close my eyes, and then I realized my eyes would be white. So now when I barely close them, eyes are closed, and I just hold my breath for a couple seconds, but I breathe that stuff in. I kind of like the taste now at this point.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. I love this.
And I used to have we used to have a little girl that would come over and spray us in the garage, but the stuff that she had, it would only last like 2 or 3 days, and then it was gone. And then I had to wear trunks, obviously, for her comfort, which wasn't great.
We got to teach Rhiannon how to do this spray tan on you.
I would love to have an at-home treatment. Because that would be amazing.
I'm 100% will take that job for you. I will teach her how to do it, and I will show you how to buy it, and you can do it yourself.
Well, my whole
and we'll
day,
make sure it's the right color.
Absolutely. The whole day's ruined because I got to spend 4 hours letting it dry. And then like, Sunday's usually like a big baseball day in our family. And I'm like, I got to be there because we got to film in the morning. So like I'm running in there at 9:58 p.m. before they close at 10. I got to sleep in it. The white sheets are all brown.
Now you know what it's like being a girl too, like what we're thinking and how we have to like organize that time.
Oh yeah. I mean, everything that people see is 100% on purpose. You know what I mean? But that's because it matters. That is because it matters.
Tell me about your clothes. Like, does that go in with your, like what you're doing for the podcast?
Oh, 100%. So it's most of my everything that I do is done usually like a week in advance. So like I already know what I'm wearing Thursday and Friday of this week, based on what the production schedule is and everything else. And even what we wear for the podcast, it's based on the guest and what's usually going to work best with them, or like everything has the little things are the big things.
Have you ever had color analysis done?
On color
analysis. So
with clothes and such?
Yeah, so you see like what if you're more warm or cool, like so you know your best colors, like your power colors. Have you ever had that done?
So without the spray tan, it's two different. So it's two different analysis based on
I could see that.
Regular skin tone, because I mean it's night and day. Regular skin tone. So I'm real earthy with the natural skin tone. When I get the tan, I can actually like wear black or even reds.
Very true.
So my whole life I couldn't wear red and orange, and I love a good red or a burgundy or something like that. Okay. So with the tan, I can pull off pretty much whatever I want, which is awesome.
Okay, I incorporate that a lot in with the consults because the color analysis is huge.
Dude, this is so cool.
Yes. And so, but sometimes patients will come in and they're like, I hate these under eye circles, and they look like green and yellow. And I'm like, you are wearing black and you are a warm spring. Like do not wear black and you do not see these under eye circles. So a lot of times their hair color even. Yeah. A lot of patients, they're dabbling in the eye contacts to change their eye color. So if their eye color is something different that is not, authentic to like how they were born and like their natural hair color, it can make for problems that they see like around the eye area.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't even need me,
Yeah.
you know, like change some of this color, or I don't say it like that, but I'm like, you might want to think about, you know, has your hair always been this color?
Yeah.
It's something so off that it makes them see things in their face that don't even really exist. So
You know,
color analysis is huge. Let me tell you, it is some power.
I agree.
Like, I got to be careful sometimes, like around my boyfriend wearing my power colors, which I don't walk around anything else but my power colors. But I got to be careful because it's like he's like obsessed with me when I wear certain colors. Like it's some power. It's more powerful than Botox, honestly, wearing the right colors.
I understand.
Yeah, and it makes for huge confidence.
Ryan Reynolds gets away with a lot of different colors than most people wear in like Hollywood. Wears a lot of brown, cream, and
He's
you know
warm.
what I mean?
He's like an autumn. He's
Yeah.
definitely like a warm autumn. Yeah.
And it's cool, and like but like, and that's something that I learned the hard way too, is like, you know, you'd see some, like I used to love Bradley Cooper's haircut in The Hangover, right? So
Yes.
I remember I went there, and that's the haircut that I wanted, and she literally cut it just like that. And I'm like, but I don't look like Bradley Cooper. And she was,
Like,
and
damn.
and she was like, well, you have a little bit of a different facial structure, so if we tweak the haircut just a little bit to work with your
Ooh, I
facial
love her.
yeah, oh yeah, like I'm like, okay, I'm learning now.
No, I love her. She's
Yeah.
good. Yes, I love that.
So anytime I go in, I'm like, this is the picture I'm going for. I always use a picture.
Yep.
Right. And she's like, cool. Well, what I would recommend is based on your face structure and so on and so forth, we would make these changes. I'm like, at this point in time, I'm just like, I'll just close my eyes and let's go.
Right. I love that. That's actually helping me evolve in my consults with guys too, is that I'm gonna start asking them to bring in like inspiration pictures. My girls do it.
Yeah.
But I never really think about asking the guy to bring it in unless he just shows me or I'm showing him before and afters.
Yeah.
But okay. All right. You're helping me out.
Like even like I learned the hard way too with like glasses shape, like is based on the shape.
Yes.
Like everything is based on shapes
Yes.
and tones. Everything is shapes and tones.
Do you know
Everything.
do you know the most attractive shape?
What's that?
Triangle.
Triangle.
Yes. It's the most attractive shape.
And
you look at things that are triangles, and that's also the shape of the face. There's,
Yeah.
triangles. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're getting
Diamond and
there.
triangles, but yes.
I mentioned Brad Pitt earlier. I don't know if you know him personally or not, but what kind of work would a guy like that have done? Is he just one of the rare breeds that hasn't had any? Is he like, not
also
human?
with guys too, like I never want everything so perfect. I
Yeah.
got to keep some little bit of like ruggedness there. And so a lot of times I find like the actors, we're doing a lot of things, but like when they're not working, so that it's wearing off a little bit so they can see their full expression. Because I do actors Botox.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So a lot of times they're doing like the prevention of that. So I would say, yeah, probably a little bit of laser, a little, some Botox, like
Yeah.
things like that, some Sculptra, skin booster. But you don't see that when they're, depending on the role,
Gotcha.
right? But the goal is to make them look great and then let it wear off a little bit, because the muscles are not going to be as strong as they were before he had it done. So
That makes sense.
But yeah, so there's just different ways to kind of go about it in the way that you would treat male versus female too.
Folks, we're hanging with the Nashville Beauty Girl, Keri Lea herself. Check her out on Instagram at the Nashville Beauty Girl, and online at thekbeauty.com, but just the E on the end, right? E.com.
KBeauty.
KBeauty.com.
Yeah, that's the name of my new
Perfect.
business. Yes,
Love
yeah.
it. K-Beauty. That's awesome. Keri, is there any kind of final thoughts as we get to the end of this sucker here? Did we cover everything? Like, I feel like we went all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I'm so fascinated with it. I know Jensen over here is just taking it all in. But like, dude, learn now, because that beautiful face that I look at today, it's not forever, bruh. It could be. It could be. But it's naturally, it ain't.
Are you interested after hearing what we talked about?
Maybe.
How old are you?
21.
Oh.
He's a baby, yeah.
Aw.
He's like Doogie
You're an old
Howser
soul,
over there.
though. You're an old soul. Like, you're very, like, I wouldn't think you were 21. Not that you don't look that, but you just present yourself as like an old soul. That's cool.
When you're your age and they say you look older, it's a compliment. When you're my age and you look older, it's like, oh man, like bless his heart.
Yeah, we got to keep them working.
That's right. We care. So, and just, when you look at, so I'm amazed at like how there's two faces that we have. Mm-hmm. Like the right side of my face is 100% totally different shape than
Oh my gosh.
the left. Like I thought something was wrong with me for the longest time because it's so much more swollen than the left. And I realized that's jawline too. And that's teeth shifting and so many things.
90% of the population is left side dominant.
Wow.
Yeah, so when we're born, our orbicular rim, our eye bone, is one's bigger than the other. And so as we age, that's going to also have an effect, and you'll have a stronger side. So your cheekbone will be higher because the muscles are not working as hard and long to get the when you're making expressions, which are all the time. And then your eye muscles are just stronger, and your forehead's stronger in the area on the one side. That's normally going to be your good side. So I love that you know that. But 90% of population is left side dominant.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
I always like I make my boyfriend sit on the left side of me at restaurants, and I love when he drives, of course, because I'm always on my good side. It's always about me being on my good side. Yeah.
Dude, it's always about putting your best foot forward, man. Packaging.
Knowing it is confidence too.
Well, absolutely, and I can promise you, when I was younger, and I'm not good at wrapping presents. I mean, it's a pretty simple thing. I could be good if I wanted to. I just have no desire to be good at wrapping presents. And literally, I was the guy that would buy the best gift and then wrap it in a Walmart bag and write on it with a Sharpie, and it just totally ruined the present.
Oh no, I find that is just being that's just like your little the way Nick does it. It
was 100% laziness is what it was.
Hey, that's a lot of time putting good quality effort into a good quality gift.
I don't disagree at all, but it totally ruined people. I remember my grandmother was just ashamed. She was just absolutely appalled at me for wrapping that in the Walmart bag.
I understand.
She's like, "I love the gift, Nick, but a little thought would have went a long way."
Oh yeah, I love making the whole the packaging look pretty. I took so much time. I actually coordinate the colors of who's getting the gifts. But I like them to all be in the same undertone. Yeah, I'm in a monochromatic moment right now.
I love it, dude. I love it. I'm just I could talk about this stuff all day long.
That.
All day long. It's such a cool thing. So Keri, any final thoughts? Like, what's next in your business? You mentioned you got a new spot opening up. So what's next in your business?
Yeah. So after 20 years of working as an employee, I got tired of being under somebody else's rules, and so I decided to go out my own. I didn't think I could be a business owner, and I should be opening K-Beauty, which is bringing the forward thinking of Korean beauty to mix with your non-surgical cosmetic treatments, because that's the mecca. That's where the gold standard is. So I, like you, I'm in an evolution of that, and I've been doing it the whole time and didn't realize it. And then now that I got out from under being not having my own rules, even though I make my own rules, because I don't like the word no. And so I'm in that transition. I should be opening this month.
Wow, that's incredible. So when this episode airs, your spot should be open as we're sitting here today, right?
Soft launch.
That's
Soft
right.
launch.
And it's thekbeaute.com, right?
Yeah,
so THEKBEAUTE.com. It's going to be in the show notes. It's all over. You can keep up with everything she's doing on her Instagram at the Nashville Beauty Girl. Keri, is there any final thoughts for today, or any projections about the industry that you're excited about?
It's the aesthetic industry is in a shift, and I'm here for it, and I want to shake it up.
I love it.
Yeah.
The Hitstreak is powered by Rack Financial. When it comes to your credit card merchant processing, Rack Financial is efficient, reliable, and trusted. At the end of the day, when it comes to processing your credit card payments, they make it simple, the way it's supposed to be. Check out Rack Financial.
I don't want the cheapest dentist. I don't want the cheapest doctor, and I definitely don't want the cheapest esthetician. Did I say that right?
It's all in the same genre. I'm an RN, registered nurse. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, again, so
your Botox girl. Yeah.
Dude, the one place you do not cut corners is your face.
100%.
Good God. You know what I'm saying? You only get one, and it's hard to put it back together if it gets messed up. And we all take it for granted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We all take it for granted. And the worst thing that I can imagine is waking up and saying, I found so many problems with it for so long, and then wishing I could have back what I had before. That's the hardest thing. Yeah. So what I can tell you is that this is how I became comfortable with myself, is realizing that I didn't want change. I wanted to be
the best version of yourself.
The best version of myself all the time.
100%.
It was amazing. And so from a guy that was raised in Antioch, Tennessee, a little bit redneck and tough and all that stuff, I'm going to tell you, this is, I mean, I was 40 years old when I got my first pedicure even. I was anti everything. I still bite my fingernails, don't tell nobody, but.
Hey, you got to have one flaw, okay?
But I'm telling you, it literally has, it's changed the game. I do feel better. I've been more successful.
And your peak of success, you're not even there yet. It's
right.
fun. You're fun to watch also.
Well, thank you. And I've had more confidence with my wife, which has made our relationship better. I'm telling you, this stuff has affected every dynamic of my life.
Absolutely.
So it's more than just on the surface. It's 100% below the surface.
It's all feeling. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, so you got to get the right person. And if Keri's not that person, and I can't imagine that would be, you'd know the person that would be, right?
Oh, I have a whole team. I have a whole beauty team I refer to. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, congratulations on your new venture and all your success so far.
Thank you.
And I'm just grateful to know you guys. You guys are awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And we love you already, and I can't wait to do more stuff with you.
Yeah.
So, Keri, thanks for hanging today.
I loved it. Thank you for being my first male podcast interview.
Let's go. Let's go. Well, folks, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Hit Streak. I'm your man, Nick Hyder. God bless.